Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to the On the Clock Basketball YouTube channel. I got my boy Julian here with me today.
Yo, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, and today we're working on a little bit of a tier list. In case you guys couldn't see, I thought it'd be a fun idea if we did a little bit NBA draft one, kind of reveal where we're at some of these guys, with some of these guys at this point in the process. We got about 32 guys on here that we're gonna tier up, and we're starting with Jarace Walker. Got
Um, can I copy it and put them in if we put them in different tiers, or is that not something
no.
we just put them in a tier?
Yeah, we put them in one.
Um,
It makes us agree on them.
all right. Well, we differ a bit on Jarace Walker. I would probably put him in S tier,
No,
but I think that
I got him at the
A
lower
tiers.
middle part of A tier. I think that he's, we've talked a lot about his defense, and I think that he's definitely got like. So I think we'll do two runs of this. The first run will be based off of where they're at right now as a player. So we'll
Right?
work them, and then we'll do another run where we clear the board, and then do it based on potential.
Potential.
Yep.
So I think that he's towards the upper end of A tier because I think he's got a great all around game.
Yeah, I think A tier is a
Um,
good spot for him now.
but he's definitely an A tier player.
Yeah.
Uh,
Derek
I
Lively, I'd
mean,
say would be an A tier, and I'd put him in front of Joyce Walker in terms of the centers in this draft. I think he's the premier one besides Wembanyama.
see, for me, that puts him in S tier. I think. No, you're right. I think he's in the second tier of players.
Yep,
Yeah, he's an A tier guy.
I
I
would,
agree
I
with
would
that.
even put him above Joyce.
I think he's above Drace for now. All-Star Thompson,
Yep,
controversial guy.
I
I
put
think he's. I think B.
yeah, I'd say the B tier is a good spot for him, and then we'll get right into Amon right after. I think both of them kind of go in B tier.
I
And
think All-Star is ahead of
the
Amon in
top
B
end
tier
of the
though.
B tier guys for right now.
Uh, Anthony Black.
See, this is one for me where he's at right now. I'd put him above the Thompson twins at B tier.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I don't think he's quite as good as Jurace or Lively yet, but I think that like by the end of the season we could see him like somewhere around here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Tyrese Hunter, an interesting one.
Yep. Transferring. So what do you think? I think he's a defensive stopper. He had some big shots that he made in the tournament. I think he's definitely towards the C tier for me. I just think that I have a lot to be desired out of a 6 foot guard on offense. And he just doesn't really fulfill a lot of the playmaking things that I'm gonna want if I'm drafting him.
Yeah, I think that he like top end outcome for him is probably Pat Bev. And like I think you're happy with that, but I don't think that like his shot making is there yet. I'm with you. I think definitely because of the Thompson twins upside there, that's what puts him below them. I
Yeah,
think he's towards the top of the C tier though.
yeah, definitely he's a top C tier guy. Leaky Black talking about another defensive player. I would slap him right behind Tyrese Hunter, or maybe even in front of him because of his versatility on defense.
Yeah, I'd put him in front. He was such a good defender last year in college. He just like he also didn't have that many opportunities to be a shot maker just because Caleb Love and RJ Davis and Armando Bacot demanded the ball so much.
Yep.
So maybe he'll get an increased role this year that could put him like up like around the tier of the Thompson twins. But for now, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. He's ahead of Tyrese Hunter.
This is an interesting one because I think Baba Miller right now, um, isn't the most polished player on this board. And I think he's going to be one of the lower end, like current value picks. But I think
Yeah,
when we start talking about upside is where we'll get excited about Baba Miller, and I have some pretty hot takes. But um, I think
yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know very much about him coming into college. I just know that he's long, he's got athleticism, and like
He can
he
shoot.
shoot.
Yeah, he can shoot it really well.
I mean, we'll see.
I'd say below, in between Tyrese Hunter and Leaky Black.
Yeah, because he's kind of an unknown. He didn't get a ton of playing time when he was in Spain, but he showed flashes. So he's definitely a Leonard Hamilton player though for sure. So like
Yeah,
that's what puts
they're,
him.
they're gonna love him at Florida State. That's why I think
Yeah,
why he'll be a high impact player by the end of the year.
yeah.
All right, we got Trevon Brazile.
Trevon Brazil. Um, I don't know. He's good.
He's super athletic. I think that the big thing with him is if he can put on some strength and if the rebounding for me, if the rebounding continues to show through this year and he becomes a dominant rebounder in the SEC, I think it'll be really good. But he's definitely behind everybody right now. I'd say he's C tier. So
Yeah, I don't think he's there yet. I mean, it's going to be interesting because he's on a super talented roster. I mean, we have two more Arkansas guys to get to on this list, who I
yeah,
think are both better prospects than he is right now.
yeah.
Turk.
Quavion Smith at NC State, one of my favorite guys. Talking about an explosive player. If there's anybody in this draft class that's as athletic as Trayvon Brazil, it's Terquavion Smith.
Uh,
For me, I think with his current, the way he plays right now, we have a lot of questions on defense and about his size. Last year he was, running around at 6'4", 165. So you definitely don't want that body of an NBA player, and you have a lot of questions about strength. But for me, I think his shot making is so good, and he knocks down the open threes all the time. And he also brings you a lot of explosive plays. While he may not be the most dominant on ball defender, I think adding some size will help him in that area. And then he already has the shiftiness and the quickness to make plays and get out in transition. So for me, he's a B tier guy. I put him above kind of everybody there because
I honestly have him as a
he
low
can
end
shoot. He
A
can
tier
shoot.
guy.
He can't. He can shoot. None of those guys in the B tier right now can.
I have him as a low A tier guy, honestly,
I,
because
I
I just
mean,
think
I will
like
not complain about that. I will not complain about that.
he just I don't know, just he has an ability to score off the dribble, which is pretty rare in college basketball.
Really
And I
polished
think that
perimeter scoring package.
yeah, and I think that it's going to translate to the NBA. I just think there's some issues with the defense. There's some issues with the shot selection.
Yeah,
Those
he's
are my two
confident.
biggest.
He's got some confidence.
Yeah, but it leads him like you can have confidence and still take good shots. I think he's confident in a way that it
So
causes him to
quick,
try and
he's
do
so
too
quick
much.
off the bounce that like I'm not. I like how many deep shots he takes because he forces people to come out on him
I
and really guard
there
him.
there's still like I get it, but it's still too much. Like you have to at some point he's got to turn into more of a playmaker.
Also hasn't played with that many high level players, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
The Aaron's
Uh,
good, but
we'll slap him in like all the way at the back of the A tier for now.
this is your guy.
Deron Holmes,
This is your
my
guy.
boy.
This could be interesting.
I mean, I have him ahead of Turk.
Yeah. I
Um,
think right now, this is where like on this specific tier list with talking about guys right now where they're at, this is where you could sell me on a Deron Holmes S tier.
I honestly think so too. He's a proven commodity in college. We've seen what he can do, and I think that the defensive flashes that he's shown and just the defensive IQ and awareness are so high that like he doesn't have to become that much better offensively for me to be sold on him as an NBA player.
Yeah, I have no
I'm
arguments with that.
I'm happy slapping Duran Holmes in S tier. I'm a
Oh,
big Duran Holmes
first
guy.
S
Let's
tier guy.
go.
Let's go.
First S tier guy, Duran Holmes.
Did you think we were gonna agree on that?
I thought that if Jerace Walker wasn't going in S tier, there was no way I was gonna get Duran Holmes in there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd agree though. I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I've
Deron Holmes. I think Deron Holmes right now is honestly a more impactful player in the things that he does, and is so much better than anybody else on here besides Wembayama at the center position right now. You know what I mean?
it's
Lively over
funny
the course of the season may become quite a bit better than him because of the athleticism and stuff.
for those of you who don't know. I have been pitching Caleb to watch Duran Holmes for like 2 months now.
I've watched
Like
him. We watched him. Come on, don't
what?
we watched him. We had a nice little film night with
No,
the.
I know. I'm saying like for 2 months I was pitching you like this is the guy, this is the guy, and then we finally sat down and watched him, and I was so happy when Caleb was like, "Oh shit, dude, I see exactly what you're talking about with this
Yeah,
guy."
for real. A high quality guy there. That was a great point
I
by you, and I'm excited to see what he does continuing this year.
gonna have a big year. All right, next up we got Jalen Hood Shafino.
Another guy who could have a big year.
Really interesting in that backcourt at Indiana.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your take?
I mean, I think he's a good PNR guy to put with Trace Jackson Davis. I don't love his shot making though. That's something that's a concern for me. Um, so I think I would honestly put him at the back of C tier.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the worst player. on here right now, but he does a lot of things really well. But his upside's pretty high. I like his upside because of
Yeah, I think
versatility, and
I
he's gonna be a good defender.
I don't think he's a one and done player necessarily.
Yeah, I could see him coming out next year and improving his stock.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think if he comes out this year, he's probably, if I'm guessing, like a late first, early second, maybe if he has a good year.
Hmm.
Whereas like next year, I think if he like progresses the way that we expect him to, I think he could be a like low end lottery pick to mid first round pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
All right, so we'll put him in C, but probably behind Brazil, right?
Yeah.
All right. GG Jackson, a guy that you're very high on.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he's gotten by a lot on his athleticism. He's a power wing, really can put the ball on the floor well, get to his spots in the paint. Just got to see the shooting, and I think the defense is there. He's a high impact and high motor player. He's gonna have a fun time at South Carolina. They like to get up and down. And he's a gritty guy. I like his motor. I think that's the biggest thing that differentiates him, and kind of puts him near that Jarace Walker type of player. I
Yeah.
think Jarace Walker has a lot more wrinkles to his game and a little bit more proven shooting stuff, even though his jumper's broke as can be. Um, I uh, I would say that he's definitely near the C tier, like upper end of the C tier. He's probably better than Leaky Black. I'd say that the athleticism for me, and he's younger. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
younger, he's gonna improve really quickly once he gets to college, and he's one of those guys that I could see making huge jumps in the weight room.
I think he is also a guy who's coming into a not so hot team. So he's probably going to be the guy there from day one as well. That's something to look at.
He's gonna get a lot of usage.
Yeah.
Scoot Henderson, bro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't even have to
This is
S
number
tier, bro.
one. This is the number
S
one.
tier. S
Yeah,
tier,
he's
bro.
top of S tier right now.
He's
Uh,
so
if you
good.
don't know who Scoot Henderson is, then I mean, I don't know why you're watching our channel or how you found us. So,
Yo,
all right,
calling him out, bro. I
Jordan
mean,
Walsh. I'm moving on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Scoot Henderson, really, probably one of the most complete point guard prospects I've seen since John Wall.
he is a guy who is playing 2 years in the G League
Yep,
already, and like in my book, he was,
the youngest professional basketball player in the United States.
yeah, and in my opinion, he was the best player on that G League roster last
Absolutely.
year.
Yep.
And
Three more. I don't think there's much more that needs to be said.
exactly. Jordan Walsh,
Um, really high impact two-way player. Uses athleticism, can yam it over anybody. I like him more than the Thompsons.
really okay.
Yeah, I
So
think his
behind Anthony
defensive
Black,
behind Anthony Black. I think that defensive pairing right there that you see in that Arkansas red is going to be one of the reasons why Arkansas is probably going to be my favorite to win it all.
I never like picking teams that are mostly freshmen to win
And
it all,
yeah,
to
I
be
know.
honest.
But here's the thing, and while I'll make the case for Arkansas, and I'll make the case for them to be the exception, I think with their style of play, they've truly gotten a bunch of superior athletes. And the question that you always say with teams like that are all freshmen, is do they have guys that can, close out games for them? And I think we'll get to them later, but they have a guy who can close out games and get buckets whenever he wants to, and then they have a bunch of superior athletes and defensive stoppers. And there's nothing better of a combination for a program than that. And they have a lot of returning talent that to be excited about. So
I mean, Duke had that too when they had RJ, Zion, and Cam, and they didn't crack the Final Four. I'm just saying.
yeah, I mean it's the tournament for a reason. But
Yeah,
I'm saying they're probably my favorites in the preseason.
definitely based on the roster, I'd agree with that. All right, next up we got Kalel Ware.
Yeah, I'm not really that high on Clawware.
I haven't seen enough, but
he's
it
super
seems to me
long,
like
going to Oregon, 7'1", 7'2". Has got a notable ability to shoot a little bit from the outside. Not any better than Lively can. I'd say Lively's probably more consistent. But for me, the biggest thing is I just feel like he could be so dominant because he's such an explosive athlete. But his motor, I just have questions about it. I have questions about falling asleep on offense and falling asleep on defense, where he could make impact plays and contribute to winning. And I just don't see it as often. But
let's
you
put
know,
him in F tier, bro.
I think he's probably the worst player on this board. And I think he's disappointed me the most out of all
Yeah,
the next level.
I we'll see. We'll see
Even
what
with good
happens.
plays, even with good plays that he made, and this is where I look at it. Even with good plays that he made, I was still like, I don't know, where's this like the possession before that? You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
comes and goes. It comes and goes. And I think a guy that's inconsistent, um,
it's
bull vibes for sure. But he's
bull.
definitely more of a true center. I
He's
just
going to Oregon like Bull
that's what
Bull
I
did.
said. That's what I'm saying. Like I just think he's gonna have a good year. He's gonna put up numbers regardless because he's gonna be the lone big man on that Oregon team, and he's gonna eat up the glass. But is he really? I don't. I just can tell that he doesn't have a great feel for the game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dylan
That's
Mitchell.
one of my really big feel and like eye test picks. I think a lot of people would disagree with me because of some of his other flashes, but I teach their
Yeah,
own.
it's about consistency, honestly, because every prospect shows some sort of flashes at some point, right?
Yep. Dylan Mitchell. I think this is gonna be another guy that we're gonna be slapping in the F tier.
Yeah, I like here's the thing with Dylan Mitchell for me, because I've watched plenty of him lately, and I'm just not sold on the offense at all. I mean, like he kind of is like a leaky black kind of offensive player where it's like he doesn't
Do anything?
really provide that much.
Can he do anything besides impact the game near the basket? And
That's
I think he's worse than Kalal Ware for sure.
yeah, it's a big question mark.
Looking
And a
at it,
lot of people
I might even slap Hood Shafino in the F tier above or in between them two. Looking at it,
yeah, because I mean if we think Hood is probably not gonna be a one
one
and done guy, I think I'd put him above Khalil Ware, honestly.
I have a hard time getting there, but I can understand it.
I think that Hood Schifino is just a smart player, and that's what kind of drives him there for me.
For sure.
Uh, Dariq Whitehead.
This is an interesting one for me, as most of these are, I guess. I don't know. What's your take on him?
Um, it's
We have a
it's
different
tough.
in the consensus, honestly.
Well, because I think the thing with Dariq Whitehead is there's two ways to look at Dariq Whitehead. If you look at Dariq Whitehead as a shooting guard, I think that he actually would be a very good two-way player.
Yeah.
But if you're playing him at small forward, which has been the consensus on him so far, I think he's undersized. I think that he has an inability to get downhill, and I don't think that he's going to be able to create his own shot against quicker players. I think he's kind of got the same issues in college that the Jabari Smith
Yeah. I'd
had.
agree.
And I think that he's going to have to rely on his handle to create separation. And he can do that. He showed flashes of that. And again, defensively, like he has locked up Keontae George pretty well on multiple occasions. Who's another guy on this list when they were playing in high school. I'm just not sure the like if you put him at guard, I think he's probably high B tier. But if since the majority of people are classifying him as a small forward, I'm putting him probably
Wow.
maybe ahead of Gigi, in between Gigi and
Wow.
Leaky Black.
I just don't know if I could put him behind the Thompson twins or
That's fair. Yeah, no, you're
for
right.
me,
I
I don't think that I could put him behind the Thompson twins.
that's fair.
And Jordan Walsh and him are a toss up. I think Jordan Walsh is a higher impact athlete.
Yeah, let's
And
put him.
and
I'll
Drake Whitehead, the level of play that he contributes on the offensive end is, I think he might be slightly better than Jordan Walsh.
I could see it. Let's classify him as a guard because I think if we
Okay,
classify him as
if we
a
class him as a guard, then he's top of the B tier.
yeah, I agree with that. Let's class him as a guard because I think that him as a guard off ball is gonna be just give defenses nightmares.
Yeah, for real.
Next up, Arthur Kaluma.
This is a really complete player.
I agree.
So
He
yeah,
the
go
sh
ahead.
the shooting isn't quite there yet, and the jump shot mechanics are a little weird, but he just does everything, man. Like he's a guy who can take over a basketball game when he wants to.
Mhm. For real. He has a great combination of skill and some athleticism and a little bit of IQ. He really can impact the game in a lot of ways. And I think guys like that, you have to appreciate it. And this is the chance to appreciate him. I think he's definitely an A tier guy or a
I
high.
agree. I honestly would put him over Turk and Jerace, but behind Derek Lively.
I'm okay with that.
Can I can I do that? Oh shoot. There we go. Because I think that again, he's a proven commodity in college. Like we know what he can do. We've seen him play in FIBA. Whereas Jerace hasn't had that kind of, appearance yet, which isn't a shot to Jerace. Just we want to go with a guy who
Positive
we
for
know has done.
Kalina.
What?
It's a positive for Kaluma, not a
Yeah,
shot.
it's a benefit for it's a positive for Kaluma, not a shot for Trace.
Uh,
Kyle Filipowski.
He's a really high quality player. Surprising how much he's risen in rankings lately. But he's going to Duke, 6'11", kind of stretch four, but honestly has a better, more compact frame than a lot of the stretch fours that you see come into the league today. The reputation is going to get right away is that he's not going to be quick or athletic. Um, I just disagree. I think that he is shifty enough and has good enough IQ and footwork to make impact plays on defense and in different areas on offense. He's got a nice, well-rounded offensive game with post moves. I mean, for me, he's an A tier guy. I think he's above Terquavion Smith. I think he's gonna have a really high impact day one at Duke and open up a lot of things on the floor for guys like Lively and Whitehead. I could not think of a better big to pair with Lively than Filipowski in this recruiting class.
Yeah, this is going to be a very
They had
Timmy
the best
Holmgren
front
like
court.
one
They
to
had the best
think about.
front court in the league. They had the best
Yeah,
front court in the country.
yeah. Well, Kentucky's front court is
Now
close.
here comes Kentucky. Says, "Shut up, Caleb. We got something for you." Damian Collins, one of my favorite prospects. You want to talk about explosive athletes? This guy's probably the best one in this entire class. He can absolutely jump out of the gym. And the things that gets me really excited about Damian, I don't think he's as polished as a player as some of the other guys on this list, but has shown, in my opinion, more sturdy flashes of mid-range shot making and good touch consistently throughout his development than a guy like Kalal Ware or a guy like Derek Lively, where I'm more excited about him being a stretch four that it also has this crazy upside of athleticism and really game breaking athleticism because he can catch lobs from anywhere, and he can
Yeah.
dunk for anyone. So I'm excited about the progress that he's made in the last year. He didn't get a lot of playing time last year, coming back for his sophomore year at Kentucky. He's a guy that I feel comfortable putting around the B tier area. What do you think?
I like him in B tier. I have not seen enough of him play, to be honest.
I'm okay with
Um,
sticking him behind the Thompsons.
because I have not really like. There's a few guys on this list. I'll be honest, guys, that I have to catch up on. I've been watching a lot of other
Here's
guys.
how I comp him. If he is the Brazil of that tier. You know what I mean? Where it's the high impact, high athleticism um, guy, but where he makes the difference and is the tier above Brazil is the shooting upside that he has already displayed.
Right. Nick
Moving on,
Smith Jr.
is the guy I was referencing earlier when I was talking about those the other Arkansas two guys. This is the top of the A tier for me. I think
Yeah, I'm
bottom of
with you.
the tier. I mean, you're talking about really truly the most complete scorer in this class, and I don't
He
I don't really have any other thing else to say than that. He is
he's a he's an intense defender, which I like as well. But the thing for me that makes Nick Smith so great is that he just does a good job of creating space with his dribble and his footwork. I think he does it a lot better than the other backcourt guys in this class for the most part, other than obviously Scoot Henderson. Um, but he's a guy who is really capable of like creating the space for a step back or creating the space for a sidestep jumper or creating the space where he steps back, the defender comes out and he can get past him for, an easy drive. And just that explosiveness and combination of those three skills, the dribble, the footwork, the speed, I think he's close to S tier. And I think if we see him play, I think mid-season if we're doing this, I think he's probably S tier.
probably
But
well
since
at
we
one point.
but since we don't again like it's tough to put like the guys that we have in S tier right now are guys that we've seen do it at a higher level.
Yeah,
And
I like making that distinction between those two tiers, so I'm fine with him at the top of A tier.
I think that he's top of A tier.
Now,
Um,
the guy who's bottom of S tier, though, you know,
what?
you want to talk
Yeah.
about total impact on the game and literally dominating college basketball. Oscar Tshiebwe.
Oh my God.
I
I
mean,
love Oscar Shibwe.
I love his motor. I love the skill combination with strength, and I don't really have much to say on him. I think he's just a fantastic, well-rounded big man. I mean, he does everything that you need your big man to do. The only thing that you can really underrate him on is his size.
Yeah, and the thing that I love about Shibwe is he's like expanded his game over the last couple of years. Like he last season developed a mid-range jump shot. Just he just did it. He
Hey,
knew he had to do it if he's undersized. He's like, if I'm undersized, I'm gonna have to do two things really well. I'm gonna have to rebound. I'm gonna have to run the floor. Three things, sorry. Rebound, run the floor, and be able to shoot. And he has improved on all three of those things. He was the leading rebounder in college basketball last year.
Yep.
I like him in the solid, like flat in the middle of the B tier, honestly.
Really, I think that he's higher than that because of the proven commodity and the impact.
You want him? How about let's put him A tier, low A tier then.
I think he's better than Turquavion Smith, though. Like as a
I do
basketball
too.
player,
I think he's better than Phil. Honestly, I'd put him right behind Kaluma.
I put him above Kaluma.
You put, ooh,
I
I don't
put him
know.
above Lively then. This is where I get with them. Like, if I think about guys who are, if I want on my college basketball team, we're not talking about really draft picks right now. We're talking about
That's
basketball
fair.
players. So
Yeah, you know what? I think he's
S
ahead of
tier,
Lively behind Nick
got
Smith.
him S tier, bro.
You have him in S tier?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best
Yeah.
player in college basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. What are we talking about here? He was literally Naismith Player of the Year, and he's only going to get better.
And I think Deron Holmes is only above him because Deron Holmes has that size on him and does a couple other things on offense on the perimeter wise that open up your team.
Yeah,
If he had the talent that Shwebe had around him, he would be the best big in college basketball, probably.
yeah, I agree with that.
No,
Next up, Victor Wembanyama.
F tier, bro. This guy is okay. I mean, this is the best basketball player in the world that's not in the NBA, in my opinion. I mean, we have not seen many guys that are as complete at that size. We haven't seen any, to be honest.
He's a unique prospect. I mean, there are no players. He's listed at 7'2", but people think he's closer to 7'5".
Yeah,
Um, there's no NBA prospects who can dribble, shoot with a 7'8" wingspan, bro.
he's an anomaly, my friend.
He's a once in a like. We'll see if guys who are probably more proven commodities who are going to be in the top of the draft, um, rank higher than him, just because of injury concerns or whatever teams are looking for. But he's a once in a generational prospect, in my opinion, if he pans out.
Can't ignore it. Julian Strather.
Any thoughts?
I mean, high impact player on both ends. He kind of falls in the same Kaluma class of where he does a lot of things really well. He probably is a little bit better of a jumper than Kaluma.
You want to put him above Kaluma in A tier?
Yeah, I think
I think
they're pretty similar players. They both make a lot of impact. I do want to get this moving a little bit, but
he's probably going to be the reason that Gonzaga goes far.
yeah, if they make it back, he'll be the reason. Brandon Miller,
Next,
I'd say I'm top of C tier with Brandon Miller. I need to see a lot more out of him. From what I saw, he just looks like he's going to be either something or nothing. He can handle the ball, do everything that he has a great affection or whatever the word is. I don't even
efficiency.
no, he's obsessed with taking mid-range jump shots over like just he really likes to get to the basket. And I just would like to see him move his shot outside.
Fair.
I
Isaiah Mosley.
think this guy's going to be S tier. I think one of the most underrated scorers and guards in the country last year. Put up crazy efficiency numbers. Rated by Synergy is really one of the best point guards slash combo guards in pretty much every area that's important, regardless of that's pick and roll ball handling with or without including passes, isolation scoring with or without including passes, pick and roll ball handling when defense commits, all in the upper 90% in Synergy in the percentiles. Like this is a complete college guard, and I think he belongs in the S tier if we're talking about proven commodities.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ty Rogers, I'd say probably ahead of Jalen Hood-Schifino behind
Yep.
Sharon Brazil.
Yeah, I think the top of F tier going to Illinois. Saw him playing the FIBA U18s. Makes a lot of really smart plays, impacts winning. He's kind of from the Hood Schifino class of like that type of wing forward type of player, but he's definitely more towards the 3-4, where Schifino's more towards a 2-3. Um, and I think that Ty Rogers will have a really good year. Good rebounder, great motor on that kid. I'm high.
Isaiah Wong.
Isaiah Wong, I think, is definitely. Would you say is B tierish above the Thompsons?
Yeah, I really like Isaiah Wong. I think
Yeah,
he's super long and has that star potential for Miami. And he
could
had a
have
really good
a
season
big
last
year.
year. He was their best player. What?
A really big year.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a big year and sneak into the draft. Keontae George.
You go ahead.
Well, we don't have a lot of time, but I'm very concerned about Keontae George's efficiency. Really good defender. I love his effort and ability on defense, but there's times where he struggles to create shots for himself. He's kind of a momentum
Kind of
style player.
brings down the plays of his teammates with those type of where he ruins a possession with a dumb decision or a bad shot. I
Yeah,
think
he's got to be a better
he's
facilitator
he's
for
he's
me.
below Anthony Black for me in the B tier.
In the beats, I would put him below the Thompson twins.
Really, I can't get there, bro.
Well, let's put him behind Isaiah Wong.
Okay, I can be okay with that.
All right. Amari Bailey. I just
Stinker. He's a stinker. Throw him in the bin. Throw him all the way in the bin.
my
I don't even
God.
want to talk about him. He's
We like
all hype. He's one of those high school players that I mean, this is the definition of being a bigger guard that just bullies smaller guards because he's a little bit quicker. And he's going to have a hard time adjusting to the pace and the quality of defense he's going to face in the college. That's just my opinion.
this gives us a minute to talk about Cam Whitmore.
That's my guy. I think if we're gonna talk about somebody who could possibly be a bottom of S tier type of player, you know, top of A tier, I think him and Nick Smith are in a similar class of these incoming guys where they haven't proven some stuff. There's some doubts about their defense, maybe consistency, but both of them are dynamic scorers. I'd say Whitmore is slightly better than Nick Smith because he is such a powerful athlete. Where Nick Smith's more of, very high above average athlete, where Cam Whitmore's going to come into the league and be one of the best 10 athletes day one.
All right. Well, this is our tier list, everybody. Check it out. Take a screenshot. We'll probably post it to our Twitter at some
Yeah, we'll
point.
post it to our Twitter. I just want to wrap it up quick, make sure we have time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe what you thought. Or comment what you thought, subscribe if you enjoy the content. We'll have more stuff coming all through the basketball season and beyond. So you guys have a good one. We're off the clock.